But there we are. We are live. I think we're live.
Yeah, I can see that it's live on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, so we are live on Facebook. Good evening, everybody. And it's lovely to come back to you again, live on Facebook with PayTalks. My name is Pay Bentu, and it's lovely to have as many of you as have taken the time to watch us live today. And on PayTalks today, we're talking about community engagement outreach. And I have a very beautiful guest, one whose looks I am so envious of. She's my friend, she's my sister, she's my colleague from university, and above all, she's now again, by extension, my colleague in community work. Dr. Shadan Roghani, it is such a pleasure to be talking to you on PayTalks. I know it feels a bit weird, because usually we're throwing banters at each other and laughing and, slapping each other on the back. And now we're talking serious issues within the community.
Yes.
But first of all, I must say you're very welcome to PayTalks.
Oh, thank you very much, Pay. Before I start, I would like to thank you to give me this chance to talk in your famous, popular talk that our friends like, and we like it, and you have lots of viewers. And yeah, I'm here again with you, working with the communities, especially minority ethnic communities.
Exactly. So I'm going to let you tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay. Yes, as Pei said, I'm Shadan. I'm recently working for the Black Asian Minority Ethnic Outreach Program. This program is led by Swansea Bay University Health Board in partnership with Neath, Talbot, and Swansea Council for Voluntary Services. The reason that this job actually been created and our role is here is because we have learned many lessons from the COVID-19 pandemic. Lots of things has been changed significantly during the last couple of months, 15 months, 16 months now. Different evidence shows that the huge and adverse impact of the coronavirus on the people from a minority ethnic community. And there are researchers that shows that the number of the people from this community that been admitted to the critical care were actually 3 times more than the white people. The other research that's been done by considering the age and the geography of the people, they found that the death of the Black African people being 3.7 times higher than it was expected. And when they did this research with the Pakistani people, they found that it's nearly 3 times higher than it was expected. And with the Black Caribbean, sometimes something like 1.8 times higher. Mm. And we just actually wanted to know why it happened. And they found that the health and social care messages have not been effectively disseminated to minority ethnic communities, and especially the key health messages during the pandemic, like social distancing, test, trace, and protect services. Then our role here is about breaking down any barriers that preventing people using the NHS in Wales and support a kind of two-way communication between organization and the communities. Like our project trying to help to communicate the key messages and dispel any kind of myth, false information, such as vaccine hesitancy.
I know we're going to come to that vaccine hesitancy, but also I think a lot of the work that you're doing, which is quite similar to what I'm doing as well, has to do with Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities in Swansea. And if we look at the wider picture, it's all about what's been happening to ethnic minority communities in Wales as a whole. And I know it's just about 15 months ago now, or just a little over, that we had the COVID-19 breakout in Wales or in the UK, and we had to go into lockdown. And I remember that it wasn't too long into the lockdown that the disproportionate effects, of the pandemic started coming out within ethnic minority communities. And it wasn't just the health side of things, more ethnic minority people dying from COVID-19. It was also the socio-economic factors. And it's such a brilliant thing that the Welsh government, stepped up immediately to face the challenges within those communities, and that has led to the Race Equality Action Plan that has been developed by the Welsh government. However, today we're looking at the health side of things, which is where you work in at the moment with Swansea Bay University Health Board, and you're doing, I believe your job is in collaboration with the Neath, Talbot and Swansea CBS.
Yes.
Yeah. Shadan undersells herself. She's the Black Asian Minority Ethnic Outreach Officer who's in charge.
I am a minority ethnic myself. I know these kind of barriers.
Yeah, and so your major role is about supporting a two-way communication between organizations and the communities to pass on.
Especially the health board and passing on the health messages. Like when I was saying about like a vaccine hesitancy pay, like, there is
I know you're going to come to we're going to come to the vaccine hesitancy. I just want to give, that overall background of what it is that you do. And then we start to sort of break it down to the different areas of your work at the moment. So through your work, you're also addressing health inequalities and helping the communities to get access to public services. Why did all this come about? Was it because the ethnic minority communities were not receiving messages?
Yes. These minority ethnic group people, actually, they found that they haven't received the key health messages. Like everyone knows about these track, trace, and protect. It seems that they didn't know about that. They found that like these people from minority ethnic people, they didn't receive the key messages like social distancing, or why they didn't respond to the vaccine, why didn't with backing from their country, and they've been asked to self-isolate and they haven't done that. We've been in a meeting and they were actually trying to find out the reason on the back of reluctancy between the people from minority ethnic to self-isolate rules that the government had. Then our role here is just trying to let these people about the health messages from the health board and going and reaching these community people to tell us what is their issue, give us the feedback about what they think, what are their barriers, and then we play as a bridge to fill the gap of these, the gap between the communities and the health board.
Right. Okay. So that then takes us to the conversation about the vaccine hesitancy, which I find sometimes hilarious, sometimes annoying. Sometimes there are genuine concerns, out there. There are definitely genuine concerns, not sometimes. It's a bit of a mishmash, I have spoken to people who have given me reasons that really I find very difficult to understand about why they do not want to take the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine. And I have also been passed on so many videos, and I know that there's so much, so many conspiracy theories going on out there on why Black, Asian, and minority ethnic people should not take the vaccine. Some of the videos, honestly, Shadan, are unbelievable. But on the flip side of things, there are those, as I said earlier on, who have very genuine, concerns about taking the vaccination. And these are concerns that need to be addressed. What are some of the reasons that have come forth in your work as to why, the vaccine hesitancy?
Yes, the people who we've been in contact with, and they are asking about, like, they tout what they think, what is their opinion. We try to be a good listener. They actually was telling us about, like, the vaccine got developed so quick, and the people still fear that they will be adversely affected if they take the vaccine. Some of them are worrying about, about the AstraZeneca and that blood clot that happened with few cases.
Yeah.
Yes, the AstraZeneca actually side effect had people, especially the younger people, younger generation, that they are already reluctant to take the vaccine, and the AstraZeneca had the effect on them. Then there are some kind of side effect that AstraZeneca had and made the people more reluctant, they told us. There is anti-vaccine groups who are campaigning for people not to get vaccinated. This is one of the reasons. There is a myth between them. They told us that this vaccination is a way of the government wants to control us. Then actually it's a controlling vaccine, and therefore people refuse because they don't want to be controlled by the government. Or they are coming and tell us about some of these target groups. There are target groups that, due to their lifestyle, their work prospects, or their religion or cultural barriers, they don't wish to take the vaccine. Like they were asking us that, oh yeah, we don't want to have the vaccine because there is an animal product, especially from pork, and if they are Muslim, then they think that they can't take it. Or they said that our imam says that, like, if it was when it was during the Ramadan, and they said that it's break the fast if you have to take the vaccine. Then we have been in contact with the people who go into the mosque and trying to just explain to the imam, and imam trying to talk to them and say that no, actually the vaccine doesn't do anything with your fasting and the thing. Then vaccine hesitancy, actually, I can understand it somehow, to be honest. Some people can, the trust, building the trust takes ages. And if this vaccine being produced very quick, maybe the reason is because the technology is quite faster now. The scientists are using the technology from with the experience of having the other vaccine, but people can't believe it. Then they'll be trying to give them.
What do you make then of those who just watch those conspiracy theory videos and don't want to take it? Because I've seen there's so much that's been going around recently with the magnets on the
yes, yeah,
claiming that they've got keys and spoons,
coins,
and coins just sticking to their arms and saying that's the result of taking the vaccine. There's a chip in it. Don't take it. What do you make of those kind of videos?
If someone say that, I just look, I've been double jabbed, then I had my both vaccine.
Oh, I've been double jabbed as well, I must say.
Yeah, then we can meet each other, then hopefully next time we can meet face to face instead of just being on the Zoom. Then I just said that, look, I had 2 vaccines, and I just try to show that, look, if I try to put a coin on my skin, even if you're a little sweaty, then actually the coin stick to your body. Then it's not it couldn't be like a fact that if a coin stick to your body, it means that there's a chip in your body. But yeah, people needs to know. We're trying to inform them. We're trying to give them enough information to make the decision, not by force, just by this decision making, something hard. And if they do it by as an informed decision, I think it's better.
Yeah, and for those who have genuine concerns, I've got a friend, for instance, who suffers an underlying condition and is really worried about taking, the vaccine. And there are people like that who, due to one underlying condition or the other, don't want to take the vaccine or are worried about the effects of the vaccine on their conditions. How do you address such genuine concerns? Do you signpost them to Public Health Wales, or do you answer their questions yourselves, or?
Yeah, I'm not expert in health issues or the vaccine and the thing, but there are people, very hardworking people, who are working on this program hard. And actually, if the people have this kind of concern, we can invite them. We can invite the expert from the health board to come and answer the question. I've been in few actually meeting with the health board people, that people from like the local people actually, they were coming to they've been invited to the Zoom. They were asking the question like directly from the person who's been in charge. Then like a person was asking about like, what can I do with the feeling of being tired? Is there any pill, or is there anything that I can have? And the person who was expert trying to explain, if the people come to us, bring the problem to us, then we can address it to the right person. We can invite the people. They are happy to come because we, in the future, we're supposed to have kind of like a chai and chat forum. Then we invite the people from different community. We have a WhatsApp group now that it's a one way of communication. We try to invite the people, make a forum, try to talk very friendly. And then if they raise the issues, any kind of issues, because our role is beyond the vaccine program and TTP, like and we support community on a wider range of access to how they can access to these health services that are available, how we can improve these services that are actually there to be more effectively being used. And we are working with other partners, we are working with stakeholders with the aim to ensure that equitable access to the health and well-being advice and services are available. Then we support the community. We are here to support the community to have a greater understanding of their rights, how they can access to the healthcare. Then we are using this chai and chat forum. We are using this WhatsApp. They can individually message us, and we address the issue to the right person. That's why we are outreach officers. We are going and reach to the people. We are raising their concern to the people who are in charge.
And you mentioned TTP, that's the Test, Trace and Protect.
Yes.
What's your assessment of that system?
Okay. It's a good question, Pei. And the system trying hard to, I don't know how successful they've been, but in this country, we are very lucky, I think, that actually we got these people who are trying to sort out the issue or address the issue rightly. I don't know how successful they've been, but I don't know how effective it was but they are actually trying to inform the people, trying to be in touch with people. My husband got the COVID before, then they've been in contact with us. They're trying to give us like kind of information, how we have to do, what can we do with because we couldn't get out of the house and buy the food. Then they give us like kind of information that how you can order the food, and we use that, or our local co-op shop, they will bring the food to us. Then kind of information that they give us on the phone, how to use the a kitchen or the toilet. Yeah, that is the day plan. And I'm not sure that how successful they've been. I'm sure that they did their best. I'm sure that they tried to give the right information to the people.
Yeah, I would just imagine how very difficult, it is for them. It's possibly not 100% effective in the way that we want it to be. But then what about the pandemic is? Nothing about the pandemic is 100% effective.
No,
because
everything is uncertain.
Yeah, because it is what it is. It is a pandemic.
It's a pandemic.
Nobody expected it. Nobody expected, the vast spread and how.
And it's a new virus, Pei.
Yeah, and it's a new virus. So,
yeah.
I think just like every other system that's been built around the pandemic, the test, trace, and protect, is very efficient. but probably not 100%, as we hear from the communities. But there's another group, right, of people that I'm pretty worried about, and this is because there's been different feedback, coming from the communities as well, and it's the undocumented people living in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So, for instance, asylum seekers and refugees, it could be people just visiting and, got caught in the pandemic, people who are not registered with any GP practice.
Yes.
Now, in some parts of Wales, we have heard that some of such people have been vaccinated. They have been asked to register with the GP to receive the vaccine. In other parts, they haven't, and there's a lot of, confusion and lack of information. Is there a mixed messaging somewhere?
Exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree, Pay. Basically, people have been refused their vaccination because they didn't have ID. This was brought to the health network as the ID was an issue. And they decided that actually everyone has the right to have the vaccination, whether they have got ID or not. We were thinking that if we remove any barriers, one of them could be ID or document, then everyone is entitled to have the vaccination. And this was then agreed and communicated to all the vaccination team and health board in Swansea and Wales. Swansea and Neath. Then you're correct. It has become apparent that there is a slight confusion that people still, even after this agreement, people still being refused, that they went to the vaccination center, they've been there, and because they didn't have ID, they have been refused. Yeah. Then they give us the feedback, the people who without the ID, and we address the issue to the administration, and we did the action, and now they have been aware that they are taking swift action to ensure that anyone that turns up at the mass vaccination center across Swansea and Neath, Talbot, they will be allowed to have the vaccination even if they don't have the ID, even if they are just people who came to this country for a visit, even if they are, as you said, people without any documents. Then I heard from a friend of mine that there is a sign now in these vaccination centers that say that, no, we don't need the ID. Then hopefully the problem being solved. But we did our part. We passed it to the people who've been in charge, and now people can have the vaccine without the ID in Neath, Talbot and Swansea. I'm not sure about the other areas. But
I'm also aware of the mobile vaccination ambulances that go around. Do they ask for ID as well?
I don't know, Pay. To be honest, I don't know. This message is supposed to be communicated to all the vaccination center. I don't know about these services that are mobile. But I can ask. But I heard that in the vaccination center there is a sign, but I don't know, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. And there's also another group of people that I'd like to hear about, and I'm just wondering if they have featured in your work as an outreach officer, and that is sex workers.
Yes.
And there's also feedback that there's some hesitancy from within that community as well, of people, about taking the vaccination. What's your experience with that?
That's a very good question. With the sex workers, you know that they are among the most marginalized group, and they are very low uptake in the vaccination program. Some of them are working alone in their privacy. They don't want to have any support from any organization because they are very private. Just thinking about the nature of this COVID, just thinking about the nature of this COVID pandemic, that people needed to actually physically distancing and following the government guidelines, then how are they supposed to actually respond to this COVID-19? The other thing is they are working under unsociable hours, and the amount of the people that they are exposing to, they put them at the risk category people. Then measures are being put in place. We had a meeting with a regional community cohesion coordinator in Swansea and Neath, Talbot and region. He called Riaz. And he said that they actually set up the ambulance, that is, as you said, mobile vaccine service. Yeah. And this ambulance is supposed to be out in the community where they are actually well known for the sex workers trade. Mm-hmm. The service will operate during unsociable hours to allow them to get the vaccination. I don't know how many of them just actually been turned up, but we are hoping that by actually doing these kind of services for them, it's a kind of trial and error. And we want to see how many of these people actually getting access to this service and having the vaccine. We are trying to reach the community. We are trying to reach them, but they are not easy to be in contact. We are trying to support them because sometimes they feel very left alone. Okay.
Yeah, and I think what makes their work even more dangerous is the fact that they don't even know the status of the clients that they meet. So they don't know what client has been exposed to the virus, what client has got it, what client's been vaccinated, and all of that. And I think that puts them more at risk.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, this is the way that they earn money. Okay.
Yeah.
Then if they don't have the job, they don't have the food on the table, then they need the support. But some of them, they actually are very private and working just like they don't let people to reach them. We did our best to reach them, and we have more plans to do in the future. But let's hope that they turn up. Let's hope that they have the vaccine and they protect themselves, dearest and nearest of them as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely so. I'm interested to know as well, what sort of feedback, have you had from ethnic minority communities that you've been in contact with so far? And I want to believe that you've had a, fairly wide reach within the Swansea, Neath, Talbot area. What sort of feedback do you get from people?
There are several barriers for the minority ethnic people to feedback pay. Okay. First of all, is that actually they don't know how to feedback.
Right.
With these help services, people don't know the process of giving the feedback, even if it's positive or if it's negative. Like, for example, if you go to any shop, if you go to Marks & Spencer, go to the McDonald's, and they will give you a receipt, and on the back of the receipt, it just said that how to give the feedback. You just need to log on, and it's a way that you feedback. But how many people actually knows how to feedback? Then the process of the health services feedback is not very clear. Then, first of all, giving the feedback for the health services is not very clear and easy. Second is people, even the people who knows how to give the feedback, they don't want to give a negative feedback pay because they think that it's going to have a kind of like they think that if they give the feedback and if it's a negative, then there's some kind of consequences, especially if they are on an ongoing treatment. Like, imagine that someone going for a cancer chemotherapy, and the first session goes very bad, and they have a bad experience, and they want to raise the issue, but they are worrying that, oh my God, if I give the bad feedback, I'm going to be worried that what is my second session going to be? Is it going to be a very good one, or actually they put it against me? Then that's why that the people trying to avoid to give this negative feedback.
Right. So this is the people who want to give negative feedback or who give negative feedback. Are you saying that
I'm saying that people are scared
that their negative feedback will be held against them, sort of.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Even I'm saying that, first of all, they don't know how to give the feedback. Second, even if they know how to give the feedback, they are scared to give the negative feedback. And the other thing is other people, I mean, minority ethnic people, some of them have a language barrier. Yeah. And because of the limited language capacity that they have, when they want to trying to give the feedback, they might sound aggressive, they might sound offensive, but they don't want to be offensive.
It's different cultures, isn't it?
It's the way that they talk. It's because they can't find the proper language word. They are like saying that, for example, not possible, not possible, but you might think that it's offensive, but I mean just it's not possible. But it's the way that I'm saying that. But like from the African community people, we receive the feedback that the way that they are talking somehow sounds loud. Sometimes they are using their hands gesture.
We are very loud and we love to gesture a lot when we speak, and we sound like we're in an argument, but we're actually just chatting, just normal talk.
Yeah, it's just the people needs to know that.
Yeah,
it needs to be. Yeah, it needs to be like a kind of these things needs to be addressed in the health services. Yeah. That people actually not being treated badly because they sound aggressive or offensive, but giving the feedback is very important. Hey, I'm sure that you agree with me. Like from the police officer, I was working for Office for National Statistics. We were trying to tell the people that, look, police always wants you to report the crime. If you don't report the crime, because I was working for the crime survey, I was conducting the crime survey for the government, and I can say 1 out of 10 people just report the crime, and 9 of them just don't report the crime. And I was just that, okay, how police needs to do any action if you haven't reported the crime? And they were thinking, oh, the police doesn't do anything, but they need to know. This is the same with the health board. This is the same with the health services. If they don't know what's going on, if they don't know how many people having the issue of, for example, language barrier is an issue, if you want to go to the consultant, and actually understand what the consultant is saying to you, and you have a language barrier, you might take your mother, or not the mother, maybe your son that is just 12 years old, your daughter, your nearest people, and actually make them through something very private, intense. Maybe you have a problem or an issue that you don't want your family people knows. This needs to be raised because it's one of the rights that the people have to have a right interpreter, translator in NHS. If they want to go for any appointment. Like we had, how many people actually been reported that they have a trauma when they giving birth to the child and they couldn't understand what they been asked. Then these
I also imagine that people who take their young children, because their children are in school here and they speak English as translators, by extension, it would be traumatic to the children as well, especially just sitting in a GP's meeting and listening to the very private conditions that their parents might have.
Yeah, you're actually trying to sort out that appointment, but actually putting that trauma on your nearest person. Yeah, that could be your child.
It's important, to sort out the area of translation and get the appropriately trained people in.
Yeah, people have this right, but how many people of the minority ethnic people actually knows that they have this right? How many of them are using the service? They should know that they have this right. They can ask for the right interpreter according to the language that they are speaking, according to the language that they are comfortable to understand. Mm-hmm. Not just taking, because, I'm not saying older generation, but sometimes we are relying on our younger generation. But is that person actually confident to listening to this thing? I don't think so.
Right. Now, in working with these communities, because they're diverse communities, they're racially diverse communities, do you find that having people who look like you, say for instance, we're the community, having people who look like us come to us, you know, to share information with us is a lot easier than, you know, having people that you don't relate to culturally or any other way? So is it, in essence, I'm saying, is it very important to also have ethnic minority people as outreach officers? Is there more benefit in that?
I think so. That's why me and you are here, Pei. That's why they created this role for us. I've been in a workshop. It was about the mental health.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there as a note taker. And just by looking at them and just trying to communicate by eyes, I was just trying to let them talk. And I was, because the workshop was running by Mind in Neath. And they were actually just saying that, yes, because the thing that they were saying culturally, I could understand. Sometimes they couldn't find a sentence, and I trying to help and just about, oh, do you mean this? Oh, yes. And when I start talking about, like, yeah, I've been stressed. I've been for a while, like, being very anxious. When I was doing my PhD, in a point, there were points that I was crying a lot, and I just trying to go through. And then I found that, oh, that ice broke, and they started to talk. And they started to tell about their issue. And actually, I got a very good feedback. And one of them told me that, when is the next session? Because we feel Shadan, just by being there, we feel more comfortable. And I know, you know, patient, sometimes the messenger is more important than the message. Depends that who take that message to this community. If it's a person who they already have the trust, that we have amazing people, because I'm working for Neath Talbot CVS, I know that there's a BME community association, and they have people are listening to them. If we want to get reach to like a African community or Bangladeshi community or an Indian community, we have our ambassador, and they are amazing people. We have a Tell Me More campaign. These people actually talk about their experience about having the vaccine or anything else. And I think by just watching these videos, people feel like, okay, there we are. If, for example, Shadan had this vaccine and she's still alive talking to Pei, then I might have the vaccine. I'd say that I am still very new in this role, Pei. I just started in June. Then there's a lot to learn. Anyone who's working with the community needs to build this trust. And that's why that I just trying to get reach to the people who already had that trust. And then they introduced me to the people. And then hopefully in the future, they can trust me as well. And I can help them, I can support them, and just raise the issue to the like health board or anywhere else, and then bring the messages from them to their group. Then we have the WhatsApp group now. In our WhatsApp group, there are minority ethnic people who've been added. We ask them, we have the consent. And then we trying to we are not spamming the people with sending many messages in that WhatsApp group. We just give them the genuine messages from the health board. If they need us, they can privately text us. It's me. In Neath Talbot, my equivalent is Hannah. I think you know Hannah, because Hannah said that she knows you, Pei. Then Hannah is my equivalent in Swansea CVS, and we have an amazing lead that is called Shaz Abidin. Shaz got the experience of working the local authority for 20 years. She has worked in many places. She's amazing. She's based in Talbot now. She's working because we are from three organizations: Neath, Talbot, CVS, Swansea, CVS, and Talbot. And I'm super proud that I'm working with Shaz and Hannah, because they have the experience of being in this community, and I'm learning a lot from them.
Now, being an ethnic minority person yourself and going out to all these diverse communities, do you find language as a barrier?
You mean that if it's the group that I'm going, they have the language barrier, or I have a language barrier?
Yeah. Do you struggle to communicate with them? Because obviously there are loads of people from different backgrounds whose first language is not English.
Yes, exactly.
You have to communicate with them in English.
Yes, could I give you an example? The workshop that we had been organized by Mind in Neath, Talbot, and they did an amazing job. They made it like a two separate table. One of them, actually, they were people from Bangladesh, and they were speaking maybe Bangladeshi or Urdu. Yeah. And the person who was facilitator in that table could speak those languages. The table that we've been, they were a little younger. Then maybe they grown up, but their language was not English, was not a barrier. Then they could speak to us. I think if you know the people you are reaching got that barrier, language barrier, I mean, you have to be prepare yourself by getting the person from you can get the access to the volunteer people, you can ask for the an interpreter. I think there are some kind of funds in this organization. Then if you know that language can be a barrier, then you have to be prepared yourself. Just let them to feel comfortable, let them to feel like you are a friendly person, not just going there and they say, oh my God, look at my handwriting, I don't want to write for her. Then I think it's we as an officer, outreach officer, it's our role to make them comfortable, to be able to talk. Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Just let them to feel comfortable. I can echo myself. I can hear myself. Going there and they say, oh my God, look at my handwriting, I don't want to write for her. Then I think it's we as an officer, outreach officer, it's our role to make them comfortable.
Absolutely.
Be able to talk. Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Just let them to feel comfortable.
Oh, I'm getting an echo. I don't know where that's coming from.
I can hear the echo.
You can hear it, can you?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Where have we got an echo?
It's our role to make them comfortable.
There's something coming back. I think it's from the Facebook being open. I don't know if that's mine or yours.
Getting an echo. I don't know where that's coming from. I can hear the echo.
You can hear it, can you? Right. Anyway, so just before we go, the joys of tech, we're getting it wrong, and my tech person is not here right now. Something coming back. I think it's from the Facebook being open. I don't know if that's mine or getting an echo. I don't know where that's coming from. This is absolutely nasty. So what advice would you have? I'm sorry, just give me a second and let me see if I can use.
Stop.
I'll tell you what it was.
You open another page.
I am just totally rubbish at this. It was me trying to turn up the volume of the Zoom, and I accidentally turned up the volume on the Facebook. Oh gosh, my apologies to everybody out there. It was a bit chaotic for a few minutes, not being able to listen to ourselves. You know, I couldn't hear myself. I couldn't hear you. But there we are, sorted. We learn these things, don't we? And next time I can say to my tech person, you don't have to be here. I know what to do.
Yes.
Not. Anyway, there we are. So just before we go, are there any other challenges, you know, that you've encountered with engaging with the communities?
Yes, reaching to the community is our goal, isn't it? We want to reach this community. We want to go and help and support and raise their concern. Yeah. But sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes, like, for example, if the people that I'm going to speak are like from Syria, refugee people, then I need to know Arabic because some of them can't speak English. Sometimes then I have to find a person who feels comfortable. We try to find kind of volunteer people that are available. Actually, if you're looking for them, they are available. They are happy to help. Then I think our job at the moment is trying to see what is available and get access to those services, and then trying to sort out the problem that they have, because we can't do everything it's impossible. Then sometimes reaching to them is hard because of the language barrier, sometimes because they don't know me. Sometimes I need to build that trust for a few months, and then I can be just a listener, and then trying to tell them what are the messages that I want to just pass. But I think it happens in a month, hopefully. I keep my finger crossed. But this is the challenge, as you said, it's a challenge. We have to sort this challenge out. But yeah, we do our best, Pay, and we hope that by helping of the other organizations that are already available, we can sort it out. But hopefully in future, after a few months, we can be more confident of reaching to these people.
Final question. I've just got one more and then I'll let you go. Is your job only COVID-19 related, or are you, sharing other health messages within the Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities?
We are sharing other health messages. Definitely we do. We are trying to help the people with their appointment, if they have any kind of hesitancy about their organ donation, if they have a problem with their scan, like if they have any kind of cancer like chemo that they need to attend, anything that they have kind of hesitancy, we are here to help. We are not experts. We're trying to pass the message to the people who are experts, and trying to help them through them.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on PayTalks this evening, and I do apologize for that little hitch that we had for a few minutes with the echo and feedback that we were getting, but hey, we made it to the end of the
thank you, Pay. I really appreciate to invite me, to give me this chance to talk to you.
It's been my pleasure, and I'm pretty sure that this is only the beginning of many more conversations to come with yourself and with your organization as well, because we need to get the word out there into the communities. We need to reach the right people at the right time with the right messages. So just thank you very much again for coming.
I can invite the people for you.
And thank you so much to all of those who have taken time to watch us on PayTalks today. And we hope that you'll stay with us, because we have so many more interesting, inspirational, entertaining, and informational topics coming on PayTalks. Until then, stay safe, everyone. Try and keep hydrated now. It's really warm.
Yeah, my water finished and I just actually needs to have more drink.
There we are. So until next time, I'm Pay Bentu signing off for PayTalks.
Thank you.